See comments.
I don't know. Hey guys.
Are we live?
Hello and welcome to Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. We are back in our closet and we are the Two Crazy Cat Ladies.
Wow.
And,
thank you for covering that again. That was.
I'm gonna cut you.
was-
Your little thing is just an eyesore to the masses, including myself.
Sorry.
Hey guys, okay,
We're
so
trying out
we're trying out a new platform. We're not sure. During this broadcast, you can support my page by sending stars a digital gift that helps me earn money.
Is that because we're on Facebook?
I have no idea,
Interesting.
but I'm gonna hide that. Hey Jody! Oh my gosh! Hello.
Okay, so it
Okay.
seems to be working.
Yeah, and we don't.
Guys, we've
and
never
you are,
done
and
this
she's
for
on.
our
Look,
podcast
you can
before.
see next to her. She's on YouTube.
Ah.
So that's cool. Okay, so this is a
Interesting.
first. This is a first for us. That was your phone, because I have mine on vibrate.
Just give it here. Debbie, hello,
Hey,
love.
Debbie. Oh my goodness. Hey guys. Okay, so this is very exciting. Welcome to our podcast. This is the first time our podcast is actually being aired live on Facebook as well as YouTube. So normally we just go live on YouTube and we record our podcast and then it's dropped on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all those podcast platforms on Monday. And we have fun because we're back in the closet. Literally our closet. But now that we have this new platform that we are today is our first time actually testing it out or showing, like, using it. We've tested it with our VIP group. We love you guys so much. Now we can also stream live on Facebook at the same time. We don't know how it's working on the other side.
Right?
We don't really know, but we're really excited. Is this CNN? I know we've got a ticker on the bottom. We could do a ticker. We got all the stuff and things, but no, it's Feline Essential.
Oh my
Feline
goodness,
Essential
is that
is our
back?
brand.
I think it's back.
It's our brand of products. Our personality brand is the Two Crazy Cat Ladies, and we're back in the closet for our
Isn't this fun?
podcast. We're super excited.
No.
So today we're going to be talking about senior cat health, and we decided that
Yeah.
we would do this because.
Today we had an awesome live. What?
Okay, look.
Oh my gosh.
It just started there.
You look like a Who from Whoville.
My lip just started.
She's got this twitch that's been going crazy.
and it just like does it for like a few seconds, and it's been like 2 days, and I'm like, oh, the side of my lip just started twitching, but just now.
Maybe the topic should be senior lips. Hey, Audrey.
That's not appropriate when you're back in the closet.
My bad.
It's not
You
appropriate.
guys,
Not
so
appropriate.
we had this great live today on Instagram with the creator of
Hey,
CatCon,
Manfer.
Susan Michaels, and it was a great reminder that cats at different ages have different needs. So we
Yes.
thought, let's talk about our senior babies
Yes.
on our podcast today.
Yes.
So we should start the podcast.
So you guys,
I already
So for
logged
those of
on.
you guys that are joining us on Facebook and it's your first time at seeing our podcast, this is what we normally do on YouTube every week for 89 weeks now. And now we are able to broadcast it both on Facebook and on YouTube. So I think it's working because it looks like some of your comments are coming in from Facebook. Our Star Fairy is here.
Hey, Sarah.
And from YouTube. So we're very excited to be to have you guys see what we do when we're back in the closet and just recording.
And Jay's lip is very excited about the new ticker too, so much so that it's got a little quiver to it.
I'm telling you, it's very funny.
It's very distracting to her. This could be interesting as we go along. But let's start a podcast, shall we?
Let's do it.
Well, maybe it's because you do that with your face.
No, this I think is going to fix it.
I don't think it will.
No, it's not fixing it. It's weird. It's weird. Have you ever had a lip twitch?
Hey, Lee. Okay, you guys, let's do a podcast
okay.
before this blacks out again. Are
Yes.
you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Let's do a podcast.
Welcome to episode number 0089 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. Guys, today's topic is all about senior cat health. We just had an Instagram live with none other than Susan Michaels, the creator of CatCon on CatCon Worldwide's Instagram page, and we did a little kitty ditty. It was a short chat about
short for us. It was like 20-some minutes.
Yeah, so I guess it's about as long as a podcast.
Yeah.
But we did a chat on senior cat health and the things that we need to know, especially going into fall, on like how to help our senior cats, and not especially going into fall, but this is what we're going to talk about a little bit more too, because our senior kitties are so important, guys. If you can adopt a senior kitty, adopt a senior kitty. They deserve life too. I know a lot of us, we
deserve their best life.
They deserve.
Everyone knows they deserve life.
Oh yeah, no, they deserve their best life. A good, happy, forever home is something that they deserve. Whether that forever is 5 years or whether that forever is another 15, because senior cats are considered senior at such a young age.
At 10 years old. Now, I've seen other veterinarians and other studies that actually say 11 or 12 years old, but truly that's not that old. So
no,
many of us have kitties that are 10 plus years old.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, because I'm like, well, for most of our cats, or many of our cats, that's half their life. So
Right.
That's why you're like, you don't want to call them senior.
Ideally.
You don't want to call them like old. But then again, I'm about to turn 40 years old, like in a couple weeks. I'm about to turn the big 40. Now, estimates show that average lifespan in the United States is about 80, right?
Right.
78, 80. So that makes me half life and also makes me feel old.
Right.
And that's when things like the doctor, are you looking at my boobs? What are you looking at? You're like,
you like spilled something on your chest. And
like, what are you looking at?
It was shiny.
You're like, shiny object. Oh.
Maintaining
Anyway.
eye contact, people, always. It's very distracting if you don't.
Right. Don't look at the shiny object
Okay, so
on someone's chest.
I get that. It's right. It's why they call like being in your 40s the midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you start having aches and pains and things like that. So now like
Right.
just as of today,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, actually, now I kind of see, because like they don't have like midlife necessarily when it comes to cats. It's like they're young or they're old. That's basically what they're kind of what they say. But when they get up into the 10, 11, 12 years of age, that's when we actually do want to do a bit more of paying attention to our cats and making sure that their health and well-being is in tip-top condition, because as we know, at midlife, we can have a crisis. And our bones start to get a little bit more creaky, we start to not feel as great all the time. We have to do proactive things for our health, like exercise on a regular basis, like eat a healthier diet. We have to do things that we didn't have to do when we were in our 20s. When we were younger, we didn't have to do that. But now that we've hit this like midlife time, now we have to do extra things for our health and well-being in order to make sure that we are
we're being proactive.
And that we get to live the longest life possible, right? Same goes for our cats.
So let's talk about some of our favorite tips for our senior kitties.
Yes.
What's your favorite tip for senior kitties?
Well, I'll just tell you the first one that comes to mind. And the first one that comes to mind when it comes to our senior kitties is make sure that they get their biannual blood panels, senior blood panels.
That means twice a year.
That means twice a year.
Can I spell that out for you? Biannual, twice annually.
Right. So that means every 6 months, we want to make sure that they are to the veterinarian and they get a full senior blood panel, because our cats are very stoic beings. They mask their pain by nature. So oftentimes if we don't see our cats having any symptoms, we're like, our cats are fine. Our cats are super healthy. Everything's fine. But if we don't actually know until it gets really bad, and sometimes that's irreversible, and sometimes it's shorter lifespan. So if we go to the vet and we get our senior cats a blood panel every 6 months, and I get it that it can get expensive, save up for it. Like just proactively plan it in advance. Senior blood panels are expensive in some cases, and in some cases it's not so expensive. Depends on your veterinarian, depends on the clinic, depends on where you're at. But get those senior blood panels, make sure that all the organs are working correctly, because things can change really fast as our cats age.
Yes, I think it's so incredible because we can catch these things proactively. If you think about it, I get that we don't want to put our cats in a carrier, put them in the car. That's a whole different set of proactive things that we can do with all of our cats regularly to make that situation less stressful for them. But it's so important because when we're checking our senior cats, I know you're distracted
by Samantha's comment.
when we're putting, especially with our senior cats, because things can change so quickly, being proactive about that means that we're going to catch them within that 6-month span, and we can start being proactive about treating those things, which just adds valuable life to their lives.
Yep.
My favorite senior cat tip is observation. And by that, I mean keeping an eye on 3 of my favorite things: their energy level. What do we notice about their daily routines that we should be a part of? Their eating habits. Are they eating as much? Do they eat differently? Does it seem like their mouth hurts? Do they ever do like a little twitch when they're trying to eat? And their litter box.
Yes.
Eliminaciones.
That
Are
means
they peeing
elimination.
and pooping regularly? Now, I know that this changes, especially depending on what their diet is. All of our cats are fed fully balanced raw diets, and they poop really about once every day and a half. So regular pooping is once every 24 hours. They should be peeing 4 to 6 times per day. That's when they're getting enough moisture in their diet. So when we are watching our senior kitties, how awesome is it if we can catch things before it becomes a problem? And we can say this from experience because our Scotch boy, may he rest in peace, lived to be almost 22. But we noticed that when he was eating, he wouldn't say anything. Cats won't say anything. He wouldn't say anything, but he would do a little twitch of his head. And it's like, when was his last dental? Right? So there are things that we can catch that can make their quality of life oh so much better. Yep. And what did Susan say? I'm forgetting something awesome that she said today that I wanted to bring up again. I can't remember.
I don't know, but another thing that we really want to pay attention to, just like with ourselves, is our cat's joint care. So as our cats now this is part of the moving into the fall season, moving into the cooler months. Just like with us, those joints are really suffering, right? As our cats get older, the free radicals build up in our cats' bodies just like they do ours, and they start to attack the organs and they start to attack the joints, right? So they break off the synovial fluid. That's basically like the glue, if you will, that holds the joints together. The lubrication that holds the joints together, that starts to break off, and then you're getting all that stiffness and like joint issues, right? If you arthritis, even studies show that 90+% of cats over the age of 12 develop arthritis. Okay, so and again, you might not see it. You might not see it if you're
in the way that you think.
In the way that you think
arthritis.
You would see it. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But it goes again to the degenerative process of aging in general, and we as humans can attest to that. But these are things that you may not notice in your cat, because maybe it's not that you think your cat has arthritis, but maybe they've started peeing outside the litter box. Dr. Marcy Koski, Feeling Behavior Solutions, great tip on that. If you've got an older kitty, she said, when I'm dealing with house soiling, I'll ask how old the kitty is. If we've got a 15-year-old cat that their entire lives has had no problem using the litter box, and all of a sudden starts eliminating outside the litter box and is evaluated for any underlying health conditions like a UTI, and they're healthy, but this is happening, then we look at the actual situation in the litter box. Do they have to go upstairs to get to it? Do you have a litter box upstairs and not downstairs? And do they have to do something painful? Or is the threshold to get into the litter box a little too high or uncomfortable for them if their joints are achy?
Yeah.
So these are little things that may not be an outright observation, but it's kind of well, maybe that's why they're doing it. So that's why it's so important to observe our cats as they age.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered what I was going to say.
What is it?
Susan Michaels, creator of CatCon, when we were discussing cats earlier today on Instagram, she said, do you think it's valuable to keep a journal of your cat's health? And that is such a brilliant thing. We know many of our VIPs already do this. Judith has a binder that would put any cat parent to shame. This is incredible. And I'm not saying like make a note every night, but when you notice something that's going on with your cat, just write it down, the date and what you've observed. Obviously, these are things that are not like acute emergency things. But if you notice that there's a little twitch in their head, or they're eating a little bit less, or they don't seem to want to eat something, eat a want, or with our older cats, something that I like doing with our big boys, our older boys, almost 18 and almost 12 now, are weighing them once a month just to see, and I just write it down in my planner, just to see if there's a great increase in their weight or a decrease. And by that, I mean a couple ounces. That's a lot for a cat.
Right.
So that can help also help us catch things early.
Yeah.
Keeping a little journal of the things that are going on with our babies.
And exercising our kitties, right? So it's interesting. We all see as your cats get older, and even I say it, it's like, when the cats are running around and they're like zoomies everywhere. We've got the young ones, we've got 4 young ones, and they are just like all the time crazy, doing crazy things, jumping everywhere, whatever. And sometimes it's like, can you just calm down?
Where's my little couch loaf?
Yeah, those that, have cats that wake them up in the middle of the night, or because they're just like, it's totally crazy zoomies. Here's the thing, at some point, and this is what I tell Lindsay and I tell myself all the time, it's like, at some point I'm going to miss those zoomies, because as they start to age, when they get to a certain age, they want to lay around more. Kind of like us, right? We're really crazy, just wanted to have all this energy as kids. And then we start to age, and then we start to get a little bit older, and we're like, okay, now our energy is going into drinking and partying and, getting like,
speak for yourself.
Yeah, whatever. You were homeschooled. But then as we start to, like, we get to that midlife, and then it's like, I really want to go to bed at
spend time
8:30 or 9.
9 o'clock's the dream zone for
when
me.
when I'm hanging out, like, do I want to go for a hike, or would I prefer to just lay on the couch? Our cats are going through that too. They are, as they start to age, they start to sleep more, they start to rest more, and they have to have extra motivation, as we do too. Extra motivation, somebody else to say, hey, let's move around a little bit. Let's explore a little bit. Maybe you take you leash train your cats, your senior kitties, to go outside, so they get to have that mental stimulation, so that they're chasing a little bit more, so that they're moving a little bit more. Maybe you build a catio for your senior kitties. Maybe you just exercise them, bring out that new wand toy, and this is only for our senior kitties, and we're going to play with you in a room away from the little crazy ones, or anyone else, right? And we get our kitties moving. And if we can do this on a routine basis, your cat will know it. Your cat will absolutely know it, regardless of their age. If you're doing something on a routine, they will know it's time to eat, it's time to play, it's time for you to scoop my litter. Like, they know these things if you do it on a routine basis, and it's so good for them and their stress levels.
Right. So routine is amazing for all cats.
And that's scientific study. Like, yes. That's like, studies prove. Ohio State University did a study, I think it was 2015, specifically on cats and routine.
Well, and it's a wonderful thing. And that means litter box scooping, when they're fed, when their snack is, playtime. All of those things are really helpful to reducing stress in cats. And it's great. Like, figure out what works with your schedule and do that. But as our cats age, adapt that routine to help them best. So maybe if you were playing 30 minutes a day, we're noticing that they're getting a little tired at 15 minutes a day, but maybe let's break it up a little bit. I think I saw a comment, it's hard to see from here, but I did want to mention this. With Oliver Twist, our older boy, it is actually normal for older cats to start vocalizing more. And a lot people,
this is more in the senior.
Right. People call it kitty dementia. Or it could be, let's not panic anybody. Right.
Cognitive decline is something that happens as people and as cats get older, right? Our beautiful cat was just in to the vet for a full senior blood panel. Everything checked out. He's super healthy. He's on a great diet. We're keeping him out. We're doing the stuff and things that need to be done for senior care. However, he started vocalizing and yowling, like in different times. Like, he used to do this anyway, but just for attention, like Zorro does.
Well, I want to specify that just because your cat is yelling or vocalizing in new ways. We had someone reach out to us that just had their little boy neutered. He was about 8 months old. He was neutered, and he noticed that he was like meowing more deeply, and then he would go back to meowing normally. And he was like, "Is this normal?" Cats actually can make more than 100 sounds. So they primarily verbalize. Jack verbalizes. Primarily vocalize to communicate with their humans. So they recognize that making different sounds gets them different attention, right? So not to say that if your cat is yowling, this means that there's some sort of cognitive decline. But when we get into those older years, with Oliver Twist, it has certainly seemed to us that it is a cognitive decline issue. It seems like he'll walk into a room and kind of be confused about why he's there, and we'll just start calling out. basically.
Yeah.
And there are things that we can do to help that. We've started him on the B12 that we co-branded with Jackson Galaxy, and that has greatly diminished the yowling episodes.
It's basically stopped it.
He did it once last week, and I don't know if he was doing that to play with Zorro or because what's wonderful about being proactive with our senior cats is that you can still see it's an exciting thing when you see them get the zoomies. We've got a catwalk, the super highway for the babies around our great room. And when he gets excited about stuff, it is amazing to see him run up the little stairs and up across he gets those. He gets not as much as Jack or Zorro and Friday and Madison do. But
he still gets them. And that's really exciting because we get to see him exercise. We get to see him move. A body in motion stays in motion while a body at rest stays at rest. That's not my quote. It's just the science, right? But he is the cat that will get up, especially after giving him joint supplementation, supporting those joints, giving him a very good diet, giving him B12 has been all the difference. B12 for cats is like Adrian just said, the co-branded product that we launched with Jackson Galaxy. It's the first all non-synthetic natural B12 for cats that you can just add to the food. No one has noticed that it's on the very top of their food. We don't even mix it in. We literally put it on the very top of their food right before we give it to them. So they eat it first. So we know that they get it. Absolutely amazing. But there are many supplements that we can also give our older kitties that I suggest for sure we give our older kitties. Like Susan was saying, she said her cat was Miss Kitty was starting to get hairballs. Like never before really had a hairball issue, and all of a sudden was getting hairballs all the time. She had already switched over from a dry food diet to a wet food diet, but then all of a sudden just starts getting hairballs. She starts adding in our Catalyst supplement, which is a mixture of digestive and antioxidant enzymes. And every time she just adds in a little bit, like she said, a few drops, we suggest more than that, or we give more than that. But she just gives a little bit and the hairballs stop. Now, when you think about why that works, the digestive enzymes are what goes into what our cat's pancreas is, create to break down what they ingest, right? Their food, their hair, whatever it is, it breaks it down and tells it where in the body to go, right? It's an easy way of explaining digestive enzymes. As our cats start to age, their pancreas lacks the ability just because organs start to degenerate. Right. Degenerate. I was like, what's that word? Mm-hmm. Degenerate over time, right? As we age. So their pancreas is no longer able to create as many digestive enzymes as the body needs. And so by supplying those digestive enzymes into their diet, now they are able to break down all of the stuff that they ingest better. So that's why they help with things like
less stress on their organs trying to break everything. So
and the Catalyst also has the antioxidant enzymes, which reduces
joints.
the inflammation.
Superoxide dismutase, you guys. It has superoxide dismutase in it, which is an incredible antioxidant, powerful. They call it the anti-aging antioxidant.
Yeah.
It goes in and helps rebuild the synovial fluids in the joints. It's incredible. Rita Reimers from Cat Behavior Alliance.
Stop, Rita's here.
The house.
We are in the presence of greatness.
Yes, you guys. And this is something as well. I want to give a shout out to Linda and Rita with Cat Behavior Alliance, Dr. Marcy Koski with Feline Behavior Solutions. I really believe in as we see our cats age and behaviors change, for all cats, feline behaviorists are one of the most underutilized resources that we have available to us. I think they are such a gift to our community, and thank you so much for dropping by. Rita,
yes.
The B12, Lisa is saying, does it need to stay in the fridge? You don't need to keep it in the fridge, right?
Yes.
We do keep it in the fridge.
Yeah, you don't have to, but I will tell you that we tested it ourselves, and we weren't keeping it in the fridge, and it was working fine. It was working fine. And then we started keeping it in the fridge, and it worked better. So we recommend keeping it refrigerated, especially if it's going to be like a long time in between uses. Then definitely keep it in the refrigerator after opening.
But I think the bottom line for our aging kitties is the power of observation. Because our cats are so stoic, the power of observation is a powerful and proactive tool that we can use as our kitties get older.
Yep.
And just keeping an eye on the basics, because they will tell us in very subtle ways, as Rita will attest to. Little things can help us better understand what they may be going through. Dental health. So important. Getting that blood work done twice annually. I know it sounds like scary, a burden, expensive. we know from experience that skipping those vet visits, the casualty in that is our cat, and they oftentimes will suffer unnecessarily because we didn't catch something that we could have caught.
Yeah.
That could have been proactively
and we
treated.
all know what it feels like when we blame ourselves, because it's like, why didn't I could have done something, I was doing something wrong, or we've
Just
all been
saying
there.
that gives me that pit in my stomach.
I know, because we've been there so many times, right? And don't blame yourself. Like, we learn, like, when you know better, you do better, right? That's why we're here, is to try to help everyone know as much as we're learning, so that we can grow together as a community. Because as we learn, we want to share, so we can all, so you guys don't have to be, or even though many of you have already, but for many people don't have to go through those situations. If we know better, we can do better. So yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to you, the community, as well, because
you guys teach us so much.
This is where we learn so much. We're all learning together.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is such an invaluable resource. Cat people are one of the most empathetic,
amazing,
compassionate groups of humans we've ever met.
Exactly.
And I love that, it's learn, share, and grow all together.
Yep.
This is really a beautiful thing. So yeah, please learn from our mistakes too.
Yeah. And we have many of them to share. We are going to be live on Facebook tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time to go over cat tip review and tell you some more tips that we've learned along our journey. And thank you guys so much for joining our podcast. Please subscribe.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, leave
Give
a
us
comment.
a topic you'd like us to talk about.
Yeah, let us know. We will. We're totally open while we're back here in the closet. So we love you guys so much. Mwah. Happy Sunday, or happy day, whatever you're listening. Thank you guys.
We're gonna try to figure out
how to use the mouse.